Hey guys, welcome back. This is Steve with LRM. Don't forget to subscribe and also hit that like button. And if you guys want more stuff, leave me a comment at the bottom. Today we're gonna talk about your fuel tank. I had a customer reach out to me stating that his gauge reads that it has fuel, but it's empty on the driver's side, but the passenger side still has fuel on the back side of your fuel tank. First things first, let's double check and make sure those fuel lines going to them, they are not kinked. If you have a kinked line, that is gonna definitely cause a problem for fuel to transfer to both tanks equally, right? Also, your lines, if they are not long enough, and they should be almost equally the same on the passenger and driver side. So if you have one that's higher up and then one low, then you're gonna have more fuel in one tank than you would the other. Now, the next thing you would need to check is when you have fuel not transferring, you could have, if your vehicle is equipped, a splitter valve, which is on top of the transmission. That valve could be bad as well. Because what happens is, again, that fuel is supposed to transfer equally to both sides of the tank. Now, the other thing it could cause it is the way you parked your truck. So if you parked your truck at an angle, and it's gravity fed, guys, so that means all the fuel would transfer to one side of the tank when you're running, and the other side would be empty. So those kind of things are the things you want to check out for when it comes with a fuel issue. The other thing I would have is where your fuel gauge is reading not correctly, but the tank shows that you have more fuel than what it says. There's a good chance that you have a problem with your fuel sending unit. What I would recommend to do is pull out your fuel sending unit and pull the float up and down, go halfway, full and empty, and then see if the gauge moves. If it doesn't move or it's stuck in one place, there's a good chance that your float is bad. And guys, the other thing is the passenger side does not have a fuel sending unit to show you the float. Some trucks may be equipped because someone added it in there, but majority of the trucks only has it on the driver's side. So always keep that in mind when you guys fill up fuel on the passenger side, but it's still showing empty. Give it time for the fuel to equalize, and then you'll see your true level, or make sure you guys fill up on both sides of the fuel tank. And then another one would be is check inside your tank. If you guys have one of those little protectors, it's gonna be hard, from stealing fuel, but if it's open, take a flashlight and make sure there's no debris inside your fuel tank. But the first thing always do, get underneath and check those fuel lines. Make sure they're not kinked. You'll be surprised it's something that simple. So we are underneath a Freightliner truck, and I wanna show you those fuel lines, which are right here on this fuel tank. So this is what I mean, these two lines here, you have one going in and one coming out. What you wanna do is make sure they're not like pinched or kinked, and also make sure that they're down pretty much level, like parallel with the frame to here. That's pretty much what you wanna see. If this is more up, then you know you're gonna have a little bit of issue when it comes down to gravity feeding, and as well as if the line is pinched, then it's not gonna transfer fuel into the tank correctly. So there's one on each side. This is the driver's side, and then we have one over here on the passenger side. You just wanna make sure everything has like a nice little droop, nothing really tight, because if the fuel doesn't do a little loop, then it's not gonna drain into the tank. And as you can see, the fitting here to the frame, it's pretty much parallel. That's kind of what you wanna see. All right guys, so the one other part I was telling you about is where you can have valves or connectors on top of the transmission. On top of this one, you'll see if you have a leak, that would cause a problem, and also making sure that you don't have any kinks as well. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's gonna be right up here. You're to follow these fuel lines going right to the top. And as long as there's no leaks or any kinks, you should be good to go. All right guys, just a quick recap about your fuel tanks not leveling off. Just always check your fuel lines. Make sure you don't have any road debris in it. And also make sure you're parked on a level ground. If you guys like what you saw today, pound that like button. If you have any other questions about what you saw, guys, leave a comment at the bottom. And I wanna have more content coming your way. You guys gotta subscribe. I'll see you guys around.